All right, tonight, as we have announced, our guest is a wonderful person, very, very lively, always full of life, always cheerful. Anywhere she enters, she brings in the light. And so she's going to be sharing a Through It All story with us tonight to encourage anyone going through any manner of challenge. Through It All is all about lifting people up. It's all about telling people there is hope. There is hope. There is way for you. All right. So without wasting any time again, I'm going to be bringing to join me right here our guest, Adenike Oyetunde. She will be introducing herself to you the more when she comes, and then we take it off from there. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for coming. I don't take this for granted. Hi, Adenike.
Hello. Good evening. I apologize. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Thank you very much for having me, sir. Good
You're
evening,
welcome.
everyone. I saw
Thank
you
you.
dancing on the chair. Tomorrow, chair.
All right,
Amen.
you're welcome. How's been your day?
Well, which is one of the reasons why what happened needed to happen. It has ended on a very good note. So I'm just thankful to God.
Thank God.
Um,
Thank
I'm thankful to God. I'm really thankful. How was your day, sir? And happy
God.
new month.
Same to you. Same to you, Adenike. It was a busy one. I had a board meeting and
Okay.
everything. But thank God we are here.
Okay.
All
How's
right.
your sweetheart doing?
She's very wonderful. I'm so sure she's somewhere here.
Okay, great, great.
Internet threw all of us out before, but we are all back. All right,
Okay.
Adenike, welcome. So who is Adenike? Let's start from there.
Oh wow. I didn't know that. That was okay. So who am I? Um, because we understand the things of God in this conversation, I would say that first, I am a child of God. I am one whose identity I have found in God. I am a joy giver. I am a light carrier. I share it. I struggled with it for many years, but without even batting an eyelid, I know I am one who keeps getting better and better. I am passionate about um, making people see God in our everyday things. Um, I am excellent. I am intelligent. Um, I am
Obviously.
vocal. I am vocal, very vocal. I'm assertive, yet I am teachable. And someone said I'm beautiful. Yes, I am beautiful. So those are just a few of who I am, who Adenike is.
Thanks so much, Adenike. All right. I read your book. Of course, we met, I think, almost like 4
Yes,
years. Wow.
yes. And I read
Um,
your book as well. So it is for that.
I actually could not wait to get back to the office that day before I
To
started your book.
read.
I actually read
Thank
it
you
at
very
a
much.
speed because I wanted to know what
Same
what
here. I read
happened.
your book, I think in one take as well. This book, no. I have to read it. Thank you, sir.
Right, thank you. Okay, so I want you to take us through your story. I will just leave
Mm.
you um,
Oh, okay.
share your story with um, let's start from Genesis. It's always good to start from Genesis and go all the way to Revelation.
Okay, so if we start from Genesis, I'll start by saying I was born in March 1986, on the 5th of March to Adelani and Bukola, and I grew up in Ikoyi. I grew up an only child of both my parents. And then I went to nursery school, Rhodes Nurseries, and Command Primary School, Bonica, and then Queen's College, Yaba, Lagos, and then Olabisi Onabanjo University for my undergrad. Um, and then yeah, in my second year in university, I had come home on holiday because my school was out of state, so I'd come home on the weekend actually, and power supply was very epileptic. So just as I was stepping out of the house, I had noticed actually when I got there that all their barrels of water, they had finished using them. And just as I was stepping out of the house, power was restored. And I just figured that as a good child, though, let me help them fill their barrels. So I'd almost finished filling all the barrels until the very last bucket. And then I slipped and then fell and landed on my right knee. And it was very painful. I still play back, that scene occasionally. My dad was in the living room with his friend, and I remember that both of them, joined me out of the shout. I had shouted and all of that. And then they came to beat me and they saw that I had fallen. And yeah, so I went back to school. This happened on a Sunday. I went back to school. Everything was fine. But till date, I cannot still remember what happened between Monday and Thursday. But I only remember on Thursday of that week, I struggled to get out of bed. So I had this friend, Tayo, Akindele. Tayo would occasionally pick me up on Thursdays because I used to have classes where he used to have classes, and he had the car, so he'll pick me up. And then Tayo came to get me, and I wasn't ready. So instead of Tayo to take me to class, Tayo eventually had to carry me in his arms and then brought me back to Lagos. When I got to Lagos was when I was dropped at home. Well, there was no one at home. Nobody was expecting me, so the house was locked. So I had to stay at my neighbor's. Of course, I had called my parents at that time and told them what was going on. And by the next day, I went to the hospital, and then the scan was done. And they said that because of the fall, because of the fall, I had there had been trauma. So because of the trauma, blood wasn't flowing, so they needed to drain the blood there, and that was done. I went back to school, I think, a few days afterwards, and I started to get better, and then I started to deteriorate again. Came back to Lagos, and then another scan was done, and said that it was the same blood clot, had not been properly drained, and somehow I did another one. So after the second time I went back to school and wasn't getting better, the doctor now transferred me to, recommended that I be transferred to the National Orthopedic Hospital at Iwobi, which was where I eventually did go. And they had all the tests done, the biopsy and everything, and the results came out that it was cancerous and that I had to amputate my leg. At that time, it was just around my knee. Nothing, it hadn't extended, but from the diagnosis at the orthopedic hospital up until I eventually found myself at the University College, UCH, it had continued to extend and extend. So that's one of the reasons why I have an above knee amputation. And I think that summarizes that whole trajectory of what transpired that made me lose my right leg. So yeah.
Well done. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. So that's what's transpired, and I lost the ability to use my natural right leg. So yeah.
So when that happened, what was going through your mind?
Actually, nothing much was going through my mind because it has spanned a few months. So I had been ill for a few months and I was just tired. I just wanted to get better at all costs. I just wanted to get better. I was done from the diagnosis at National Orthopedic Hospital up until I found myself at UCH. We had been to a few places. We had tried prayer homes, spiritual homes. We had tried the medical options. We had even tried alternate medicine or whatever it is they call it. None of it had worked. So that had taken me months, and those months were excruciating, months that were filled with excruciating pain. I was in so much pain that it was unbelievable that I could even smile to people when they will come look for me. because in 24 hours, I remember very well, I rarely would sleep up to 4 hours. And the moment I woke up, it was just pain throughout. So the moment I knew that I could get respite or relief from pain if I lost the limb, I was ready. At this point, I was ready to just, you know what, you guys, take it out. I'm done. We had tried everything. I think the only thing we didn't try was travel abroad, and we couldn't afford it. And there was no liberty for GoFundMe back then. So I'm sure that if there was, I'd have tried the option of doing GoFundMe to see if we could, try to raise funds. We didn't have the funds. We didn't even think of getting a loan. We didn't have property to sell. There was no property for us to sell, for us to say, if we sold this land here, maybe we would have gotten money to then get a visa and then travel. We didn't have all of that. And somehow I had sent the scans to an uncle, and person had come back to say they had shared it with their friends, medical doctor friends also in the US, and it was still the same thing, that the moment the person saw the scans, the first thing they saw was a tumor and all of that. So that's automatically nullified the thought of, or should we try to go abroad? If we had tried to go abroad, maybe at the moment where I fell, I'm not sure if 15, 16 years ago, science would have afforded us the opportunity where they would have opened up my leg and they maybe scraped some part and then put metal in one thing, because that is also an option for people who catch it very early. But we didn't know. At that point, I had barely heard about cancer. So I'm like, cancer care, where is cancer coming from? Why me? Of all people in the world. I remember one time I'm like, wait, I have friends who are from extended homes and have like 12 siblings. How come it didn't happen to one of those families? Why did it have to happen to me, who is the only child of both my parents? Aha. So yeah, that's how I just wanted a break. I wanted to breathe. I wanted relief. That was the only thing on my mind. I didn't think of anything. I didn't think of school. I didn't think of future. I didn't think of anything. I only thought about relief. God, I just want to wake up one day and not feel pain, because none of the pain relievers were working any longer. They just all stopped working. All of them, every single one of them. I had even moved to a combination, a cocktail of painkillers. Nothing was working. So, and my parents were also disturbed, clearly and evidently, I would try to hold it. The painkillers will work for a short while, and those are the whiles that I would catch some sleep. But the moment they will start to wear out, I had this pain, and then I'm up again. I lost so much weight. I had lost so. I was probably maybe like a size 0, not even a size 2 or 4 US. I was most likely in between a 0 and a 2. For people who know US sizing, just imagine what I looked like. But I'm just glad that I just wanted relief. And the moment the amputation was going to give me some sort of relief, we knew that there was no, let's go and think about it any longer. I was like, yeah, remove this leg. This girl is dying. That kind of stuff. So yeah.
So let's go to after the amputation.
Okay, sir.
I know reality is going to dawn somehow. Now it was, please remove it. This pain is going to kill me. Now they have removed it. I need to face life. So take us through that. How did you face life after that? Or how did life face you, or how life took you or take you or whatever after that?
So the first day after the amputation, because I had been using crutches, I wasn't new to crutches. But the first day after amputation, I will never forget. On both sides, I was in my ward. I had, people stay on both sides. To my left was an 80-something-year-old woman, elderly woman. To my right was a young girl. And the moment I woke up, the first thing I wanted to do was just get out of bed. I just wanted to get out of bed. So I stood up from my bed. I stood up on my bed, I beg your pardon. And I was about to use the crutches. I almost, tripped. And then I took it. I'm like, oh, relax. Your balance is now different. Reality. But from the moment I could gather myself together and moved, I have not stopped walking. Literally, I haven't stopped. Like I didn't have more, I didn't think of much, which is why it reminds me very clearly about the faith that the Bible talks of when we are like children. I knew I was going to be fine, but I did not know how. And I didn't think about the how. I didn't have a 2-year plan. I didn't have a 5-year plan. So yeah, it's I think it's through the years when life started to happen to me in terms of, you see how life is happening to all of us, is when I started to think deep, this one. But it's been a very interesting experience so far with living with crutches, living as an amputee, especially seeing that I used to wear prosthesis, or I've had a few prostheses, and then I stopped to wear them, and I'm just stuck with my crutches, and I'm conflicted. Do I go back? Do I not go back? Am I sure I want to spend $30,000 on leg I will not use? Am I sure? It's apart from that, I am grateful to God. Do I wish I had my natural right leg? Yes. I'm not even going to mince words. Yes, I miss it. I want my right leg. In fact, because there are days I just want to get out of bed and I need to use crutches. But it's been, that's just a summation of how it has been so far.
Were there any of those moments that you felt like really questioning God?
I never had any of those moments, and I've never had moments where I've thought that things have been taken away from me because I have one leg. I remember when I was making an attempt at describing who I am, I mentioned that I was vocal. And I think that my vocality has also helped me to get things that I believe would have come to me even if I had both my legs. I had never questioned God, why me? Never.
All right. I'm so sure that Adenike is going to join us back shortly. The truth of the matter is that, yes, life happens. There are many things in life that you don't bargain for. And then when they happen, of course, for some, when it happens to them, it shatters and scatters them, and they just don't get balanced again for years. Some keep blaming somebody, some keep looking for who to really say, yes, you are the one responsible. But somebody like Adenike, she knew that, okay, this has happened. The only solution is for the leg to be amputated. And of course, the pain, even if she was going to say, no, let me not go for it, the pain was not going to give her the chance. Like the question I asked in the advert, if same thing happens to you, if one day they just tell you, God forbid, that sorry, we have been trying a lot of things to make sure that things are okay with you, but nothing seems to be working. We're sorry, the only solution is to amputate your leg or arm or anything. What will you do? What are the thoughts that will be going through your mind? Won't you be thinking, so how do I live? How do I move on from here? Of course, like I always say, it's all about encouragement. Adenike had her limbs amputated when she was 20. She told you us her date of birth. She's in her 30s now. And I tell you, she is living her life in full. She's living her life in full. She is an embodiment of encouragement. She's somebody that does not allow whatsoever had happened to her to really pull her down or box her even into somewhere and say, and she keeps mourning and pitying herself and say, oh, see what has happened to me. Life happens. Life happens. No matter what happens, I want you to just know that, yes, this has happened. And then I'm moving on with life. The fact that you had something happen, some of us listening to me, maybe you have a disability or something happened and you are disadvantaged, and to you, you felt that life has ended there. One thing I always say, and I'll keep repeating, this world is a world that is meant for fighters. When something wants to keep you down, fight your way through and say, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. Yes, of course, pray for grace. Sister Adenike says, I think special grace comes along with these things. Sincerely speaking, the way what happened to her occurred, there was no expectation. She wasn't expecting it. So you would not have said, oh, okay, she had the grace before she fell, or when they started visiting hospital over and over and over again. You know, the one thing with life is grace comes along when you are able to tell yourself, okay, this has happened, worst case scenario, so what happens after now? You know, life must go on. Life must not end there. So I love that. Tola said, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. Yes, life is never fair. Some of us are waiting until life will get fair, and then things will start moving well for me and with me. If you want to wait until life will be fair to you, you will need to wait maybe until you are like 90 or almost 100 years. You understand? It's a matter of, in spite of this, I am moving on in life. I am moving on with life. And you see, one thing, yes, we have spoken about grace. One thing I want us to also always have, that resilience, that determination that everything I desire to become in life, nothing is going to hinder me. Nothing. It may not be even a disability. It may be my parents are not there, nobody is there to help me and whatever, but you can just tell yourself, nothing is going to hinder me from becoming what God has destined me to become in life. I may be, something may slow me down, something may pull me back, but it's not going to stop me from moving on, like some of us have said. We will keep moving on. Yes, face life situation and challenges with confidence and trust in God. Sincerely speaking, take those counsel. Some of us, maybe you don't have any challenge now, so you may not appreciate what people are saying, you know. But when those things happen, just hold on to your faith. I will look up onto the hills. Where will my help come from? It will come from God. Grant me the grace. Grant me the strength. Thank you so much, Brother Tade. It can only be God and His grace. And His grace is always sufficient for us. In actual fact, for you to be able to assess the grace of God, at times some things need to happen, and then you just discover that, oh, all right, so I have this grace, I have this strength, I have this capability, you know.
Network, finally.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Nigeria. Uh,
Yes.
you know, thank you so much. Thank you for
No,
coming.
no, it's fine. Thank you for the honor. Let's get to it. Let's get to it before the network trips.
All right. I've been enjoying a lot of the comments. People have been talking about grace and strength and
Mm, mm,
excellence and everything. It seems as if the grace came when amputation happened or something.
yes.
Just knew that
So
God.
I had been a Christian all my life, but I can't say that I had a relationship with God prior to all of this episode. So it was in that moment, not from a place of desperation. The amputation
Mm,
had long happened. I wasn't sold the idea of Christianity or salvation in exchange for healing. All of that had happened. I had lost a limb. I had undergone chemotherapy. But from a place of hunger, I just knew there was more. And I was completely and utterly sold to it. I would occasionally ask myself when I would burn again, like I did back then. I was on fire. I wanted every and anything that had to do with God. I did all the courses there were. I was, I was serving in one capacity. And anybody that went to Olabisi Onabanjo University must have known me from Winners Chapel. I was in technical department, and sometimes I would help the ushers. So people were always taken aback, like, sorry, who is this person in crutches? I did Wolf B. I did all. Like I did all that. My roommates will say, are you sure you're not going to become a pastor at this rate? Um, I just wanted more. I wanted more. I wanted more. I could see a semblance of religion, guys, as Christianity. I remember very well. And it was distasteful to me, but I didn't understand why. So I took a back seat. But the moment I connected with people who were equally on fire and were feeling from a good place, I was completely, I keyed to it. Pastor um, Israel Akinsanya, I can never forget him and his wife. They were posted to Agoiwe, Winners Chapel. He was on fire for Jesus, genuine fire for Jesus, always encouraging. I still remember, in fact, I'm going to call him tomorrow morning just to check up on him and his family. So it was from a
Great.
place of hunger. It wasn't from a place of, if you give your life to Jesus today, he will heal you from cancer. He will help
Mm,
you. I had gotten all of that. That had
mm,
happened. In fact, we went to redemption camp. If we see Adeboye, the healing will come. If we sit down on one chair, and it was from a place of love that these people were sharing these things. And I don't force them because there are people who genuinely sought miracles, went to these places, and indeed received their miracles. So that
mm,
experience exposed me to the different modalities that God has in
mm.
doing things. I knew for a certainty that, God that can use saliva on sand
And then
to rub on somebody's eyes, and then another time is just go and wash your eyes, and that's it. I think for me that was when I knew that methods differed. It really hurt my mom because I didn't receive my miracle when we went to redemption camp. I must be very frank with you. She was broken. She was utterly broken. And I could see it. She was so disappointed. She was so. In fact, the family friend that encouraged us, you know, was disappointed. And when I started to get deeper in the things of God, I started to understand how we as Christians place ourselves in the position of healer. And then when it doesn't happen, we are now disappointed. It is not your business. It is not your salvation. It is not your healing. Whether he does it or he doesn't do it, it's his business. Your own was to bring somebody, tell them that you have a God that can do all things. So come, let us see. We have come now, it didn't happen. Oh yeah, we move on. That kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with you. And I know that it really affected my mom for a very, very long time. we've never spoken about this, but I know that it really, really affected her. But I'm glad that I was in a place in my head where there was no offense. I wasn't upset at God. People still ask me that, were you angry? I wasn't angry. I'd occasionally say, God, you know that we could have just continued this story of my life if I still had both my legs. And sometimes I wonder, how far apart would I have been from who I am today if I had both my legs? I don't know that answer, honestly speaking. And I'm not sure. Maybe I'll probably get a revelation, maybe in heaven, or if I have a creative miracle and my right leg comes out. Woohoo! Yeah, I can't blow globally, man.
All right. You know one thing, I love this angle that you brought into it, Adenike. Of course, just like in your case, I went to Crusade Grand or Badari, but the healing never happened. But you know, but the things God is doing with my life now. So I told my friends that you guys, you know, I'm healed. God made me this way so that I can have impact on people's lives. So that I can connect. I said it, so I mean, I think last week again. I can connect with people. Somebody like Paul went to God, he had something disturbing him. And he went to God. He said, 3 times I went to God. Take this stone out of my life. And God said, no. It was St. Paul that was opening blind eyes and telling seeing eyes to go blind. You know, Paul told God, he said, remove, it's believed that he had bad eyesight. I said, God, please, this thing is disturbing the work of the
me.
Please do something. And God said, oh, let your eyes remain like that. Said, my strength is made perfect in your weakness.
In your weakness.
When you are weak, that is when you are strong. So I think that is a good side that you have brought into it. You know. Now let's move fast. I know some areas where people get so disturbed with life. I hope you can still reach me there.
Yes, I can.
People get lost, especially people that have disabilities or people that have some type of challenges in life that has impacted their self-esteem. The issue of relationship is always a big thing. And I know some people will be waiting to hear that part from you about issues of relationship.
Okay. So I've met people who are living with one form of disability or the other, and they talk about this relationships. Okay, so if for instance I meet a person who is newly amputated, say maybe in her early 20s, or it's a man, I bring up the conversation before they bring it because they are fresh amputees, you know. And I always say your worries, of course, will include relationship and marriage if you are desirous of having of getting married. And if you're a woman, I say if you are also desirous of having children, it will affect it would include your worries. But that nobody wants a liability. And what I have noticed, and I'm sure you can attest to it, sir, is that if you there's an aura that you carry as a human. And if you carry despondency, anyhowness, you don't look well every time you walk into a place because you have disability, you are smelling, the color of your dress is dirty, nobody's going to want you. Nobody's going to want you. With my one leg, I'm a buffer. I wear fine clothes, I wear fine shoes. Like, it's so bad that I was looking for right leg. Like money bata,
Money bata is the right to poor.
You know, I can give a size 41, and there was a time like that. As you can see, I've braided my hair. Me and my hair. There was a time it was gorimapa. There was a time it was gold. There was a time it was it's nothing beats identity. And for people who are Christians, we always say that the foundation of your life starts from who am I?
Yeah.
You can answer that question. A lot of things become easier to you. Even when I was in university and I had an artificial leg, it didn't matter to me. Even after I finished, after university, I did my NYSC. I went to law school. It didn't affect me. I even had more suitors as an amputee than I did with one leg. I did have more suitors. It will not. It's how you see yourself, how you carry. If you see yourself as someone that a man has to pity to date, then human nature is that it would one day something will happen, you disagree, and he will just start saying, and I just pity you. No, you didn't pity me. I chose you.
Yeah.
You are an option. I chose you. I have brought, the Bible says that if you find me, you find favor. I have brought favor into your life. You will never find anywhere else. You will never, and I make bold to say, you can never find, even as friendships, because I'm the person, I give my all. I'm a loyal friend. I grew up an only child, so friends have held my back for years. When they say in your lash on me, I am a true example. When they put in your lash on, they should put my face beside it because people have covered me as I have covered them. So when it's time for a relationship, I just see them. One of my friends was saying, is she ready to date? I looked at her and I said, you are not ready to date anybody. You are not even ready mentally. You now want to go and no. I know that all of us were.
Go on. Don't stop.
I know that we are all, a work in progress. I am full. My self-worth is full, not because of any material possession or any money. If we want to but there's something about, and I'm not messing you because the enemy has, my friend reminded me this afternoon, the friend said the enemy is attacking you and you are not seeing it. And I was so upset in my spirit when she brought it to my attention, like, how can I be ignorant of the devices of the enemy? That is what he does. He attacks the human mind. He attacks your self-worth. He attacks your identity. And once he attacks it, that's it. You can't find anybody. Nobody will find you attractive. Nobody can find you attractive. If you don't wear makeup, it's okay. You don't have to wear makeup. If you wear makeup, look very nice. Make your hair. You don't have to do braids. Go to Amonidiri. Make plain one. Look for beautiful, simple studs. It's not paying on low 100,000 láti wọ aṣọ kan from head to toe. Gbogbo ẹ̀ combination ni. Wàá ní skirt black kan, wàá ní top méjì, tó bá wọ ilé lọ́la bá. This life, I tell them, like, know who you are and know whose you are. So that nobody can tell you rubbish. And
you are.
Nobody, not a man, not a woman can tell you. If you are looking for a job and you get the job, add value. Don't let them put it there. She has one leg. In your absence, when they are talking of people they want to fire, Adenike, do you know how many people she has brought to this company? Let me pause for now.
Wow. All right. So it's how everybody, it's how you see yourself that people will see
how
you.
You see yourself. Simple.
So you see?
Yes. Simple.
You see?
Simple.
Wow.
Simple.
Wow.
Aṣá àti ráwọn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n wà lórí wheelchair tó ń marry tó ń bímọ méjì mẹ́ta. Atira. So why will your case be different? Because you are visually impaired, or you are hard to hear, or you are living with albinism, or you are living with cerebral palsy or autism. We've seen people living with autism get married, have good homes.
You know, some people that
Uncola,
don't even have any disability, yet they just can't see anything good happening in their lives. You know, it happens.
exactly. Yes, so you see that it's beyond living with disability. It is, and that is what the enemy does. The enemy locks them up in a place in their minds. They can't go through it. And which is why I'm a very big proponent of therapy. I'm a big proponent, because what your therapist will do for you is will go to the root cause. When did it start? What triggered it? Was it something that was said to you? Was it in primary school? You did not come first. You came last. And the teacher said, you're always an olodo. And you shut, and your mind just shut. And your mind has been in primary 5. You are a 35-year-old, but your brain is in that 35-year-old experience. That is what happens to a lot of people. A lot of people. And that's what happens with therapy. So it's okay. God is the one that gave these therapists the wisdom. They will visit. It's like a revelation. Therapy is revelation, because you go back, you trace it, you go back to the root cause. When did it start? And then you now find yourself back when you were 5-year-old. You stay there and you are recurrent. So you go back, and the teacher is telling you an olodo, and you are saying, no, I have the mind of Christ. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. The Lord is with me, therefore everything that I do becomes a success. Even if I fail now, I'm starting from this place as a process to my end. You come back to your reality as a 35-year-old that has never had a relationship. Your life changes because you now get it. The key has been opened. Simple, as in, please, Christians, embrace therapy. It is not from the enemy. It helps. God gave us. It's good to have Jesus and have a therapist side by side. It makes your life worth it. It cuts your process of suffering and hustling. That hustle that people of the world say that they do. You will not hustle with God, because it is strategic. It says that you can't toil. You can't go back to Eden and be toiling. It's not possible. When the high priest was entering the temple, the Holy of Holies, the Bible says that they were not allowed to break out in a sweat. If you broke out in a sweat, the high priest would die. Jesus came. Why? So that we enjoy that ease through the Holy of Holies, through that curtain that was open, split in 2 halves. That is what Jesus came to do. But no, we want the world and their processes to keep us tight, and we'll now be shouting, I'm hustling. You are not a hustler. You are not. You were not born to hustle. God has blessed the works of your hand. Why would you hustle? You are adding value. You are a value-adding person. You are a change maker. You are a solutions provider. I remember first I met on Kola, and Kola was talking about doing background check. The first thing that came to my mind was, wow, see, solutions providing. That is who we are as a people. We provide solutions to problems. And because we provide solutions to problems, even as if I live with disability, I have one leg, I have one hand. There is a place I can add value that they will see me and they will never want me to go. So when you now meet the person that you want to be in a relationship with, the least on the person's mind is disability. Why? Because when you live with people like us who are living with disability, you will not even remember. Do you know, my mother, it's been 15 years I lost my leg. My mother sometimes say, Bata Kejida. Because you forget. Cobhams are so cool. We'll be telling you, Mama, when I watch that movie, Cobhams is visually impaired. But in daily eton, I realized, why not? Cobhams no movie. Cobhams say, I went to the movie. Yes. Because when you are around us, we do the things that we can do. And because we are doing the things we can do in our capacities, we don't see the limits. So, as I am like this, I can drive Ibadan, give me smooth road, give me good car. I can drive. Just give me the things that I need. I will drive and come back in Lagos. Give me fine car. I will go and come back. Give me good road. Give me no traffic. I will go. My school was in Ogun State. I didn't have a car in university, but after I finished, I was driving to school for my clearance and my papers afterwards. So what is your excuse? There is people that you see people are married now. My husband has 2 eyes, he has 1 nose, he has 2 lips, he has 2 ears, he has 2 hands, he has 2 legs. My in-laws love me. My mother-in-law is in love with me. She loves me. My husband's nieces and nephews call me more than they call their uncle. It's like, is that bad? You're not be here. If I keep a sheriff. You know, I say, what to pay me? You will not want to see me. Because the disability doesn't affect anything. It doesn't affect anything at all. We will be full of, like, what is Sorogo?
Why did you stop? You are hitting a lot of things, but I didn't want to stop you. You're talking about no limits, no excuse. Nobody has any reason to give any excuse in this world, regardless of what has happened to you, regardless of what is happening to you, regardless of what will yet happen to you in life. You don't have
Yes.
excuse. You can make it. That's what Adenike is saying. That's what I've been hearing you saying. You can make it. You can do it. You can get there. You can be the head. Adenike, thank you so
Thank you,
very.
sir.
Thank
you, sir.
You.
I'm not worried. I'm here. They took out the light. I'm here. Don't worry.
Sorry. That's how they will know you are still in Nigeria. California in Nigeria. All right. So presently you are a special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on disability.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know Governor Sanwo-Olu is somebody that he knows the people he gathers around him. There's something in you that could have handed you that position. You want to talk about it, Adenike?
Oh, wow. So I was appointed in February as the senior special advisor to the governor on persons living with disability. I feel like time and chance, opportunity, time and chance. I'll be very honest with you. I met him 2 years ago, and we struck an acquaintanceship, a friendship of some sort. And when I knew the position was open to be filled, I just simply applied. And from the pool of people that, applied, I got the, appointment. What their criteria was or what made them choose me, I don't know. But like you said, they must have seen something. It's been a really, really challenging job, as you suspect or you may know, especially when you're dealing with civil service and all of that. But I was chosen for such a time as this. And I remember when you called last week, and you reiterated again that let me know if and when, your help will be needed. And I said I'll get back to you, that I'm grateful and all of that. And there have been quite a few people like yourself who have shown the desire to, support when the time is ready. And I know that the time will be ready soon. But this is again a call to all of us. We should be tired of praying in our churches and mosques about the change we want to see in Nigeria. I've barely been in the system for how long, and I see why so many things are not working. I see why some things are working. But the only thing I can say, because of course I can't reveal a lot, is that if we show up in our numbers, heaven will record it in our favor. I'll be honest with you to tell you that I didn't pray for Nigeria from that February to like maybe May. I couldn't, because it just felt like lip service, like I can't turn our journey, I ain't ready. There are loopholes in many systems that encourage many things. There are people behind many systems that equally encourage many things. But one thing that we know is that when a people with like minds infiltrate a system, the system must adjust.
Right.
So when we pray consistently about God heal Nigeria, God save Nigeria, God the enemies of Nigeria, the reality about it is the enemies of Nigeria are the people we see every day, are the people we know, our aunties, our uncles, our mommies and daddies. It's not Buhari. It's not Buhari. Buhari is not here. So this opportunity I will not miss. The INEC has resumed the registration for PVCs. Please get involved. Please get involved. We all cannot go to Canada. Canada cannot contain all of us. Please get involved. Vote. I know that it feels like your votes do not count. Vote. When you go out and you get your cards, it makes it harder for the system to be rigged. Vote. Stand at your polling unit. Let them count the votes in your presence. They send the numbers to the central system. Just do your part. Protect your vote and then go home. God bless you.
Adenike, thank you so very much. In fact, I was so honored because I know you are so busy, so busy.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe pé mi ẹ̀ rí pé mi ò tiẹ̀ jiyàn lọ́jọ́ tẹ́ pé mo ní ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe next week ẹjọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run, because I knew that I was working from home today. Tí má ní ká ṣe ní next week Thursday, ìgbà yẹn mo máa wà ní traffic, ara máa kàn mí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe lé ní o. But but the Lagos, I said the Lagos, but the only family, but we're here. You're most welcome. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you for showing us. Thank you for showing us that it's possible to live with disability and have your own money and you're not begging. A conversation a lot of us do not want to have. This role has shown me how we have a lot of work to do with the psyche of persons living with disability. So all that they want is not just to continue to collect stipends from the government, but to see in themselves that they have the capacity to be more and to do more. You're someone who has shown that if you have your money, Sokuso will not pass by your side. People will not. I don't pass. But when you have money that you have worked for and the value that you are adding to a society, it gives you, how do you say to you, you'll be able to talk as a thought leader. And that is where my desire is for persons living with disability, where we help recalibrate their minds to say, you can go to school and start a business. You don't have to get employed. You can go to school and become an employer of labor. You can go to school and not wait for stipends, not be fighting for a bag of rice. Yes, even in this country of Nigeria. So ẹ ṣé gan sa o, ẹ ṣé gidi ẹ̀yin Engineer Mosun. They are the two people who have gone ahead and have shown me personally that you can live a life of comfort, even as a person living with disability. Travel where you desire, live where you want to, and just be following God's purpose for your life. Shego. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm so sure everybody here tonight have been impacted in a way. Even me, I just felt like just hearing you talk on. Your book, is it still in circulation?
It is. If you, for people who like to ebooks, it's on BAM Books, it's on Okada Books, it's on Amazon. If you like to own e-copy, Book Peddlers NG on Instagram or Roving Heights on Instagram. And if you're in Lagos, you can send me a DM. I can arrange delivery to be done for you as well. We'll just find out from the delivery company how much it will cost to get the book to you, and it costs 5,000 naira to get a copy of the book. Yes, sir.
That's a book I would can recommend for every one of us to read. You need to know what make other people tick.
Yeah.
And those are the things that Nike actually put in the book. The title is Adenike now, Abby.
Yes, sir. See my bookshelf.
Let's see it. Let's see the cover.
Oh, it's not around me. Oh.
All right. Thank you, Adenike. So the title is
Thank you
Adenike.
so much. Yes, the title is Adenike. Amen. May God bless you and your husband and your kids. The kids are still in heaven, but we receive them in Jesus' name. Amen.
They will come. As the Lord lives, they will come.
Amen. Amen,
Adenike,
sir. Amen.
I'm so grateful.
Sir. You're welcome, sir.
Honoring you in the name of the Lord Jesus.
Amen.
The Lord will keep lifting
sir.
you up. Doors will keep opening unto you. The lines will keep falling onto you in pleasant places. Your heritage is godly. Your heritage is goodly. In the name of the Lord Jesus. All those things you desire, every single one of them shall come to pass. You shall find fulfillment in life in all the things you do in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you, Adenike.
Amen, sir. God bless you, sir. All right.
All right.
All right. That was, sir. Yes, sir. All right, sir.
Have a wonderful evening. I appreciate you. Everybody, I appreciate you. I don't know whether you are feeling the way I'm feeling. Adenike I thought I was one interviewing her, but what I'm getting from her is loaded. The Lord will beautify your life also. The Lord will honor you. The Lord will make you become what you can never imagine in life in the name of Jesus. For everyone here tonight, you are the ones I'm praying for. If God can do it for Adenike, He will do it for you also. He will do much, much, much more. Bible says He's able to do unto us exceeding abundantly. A version says far over and above our own faintest imagination or expectations or desires. That's what God will do for you in the name of the Lord Jesus. God bless you all. I appreciate all of you. I don't take your followership for granted. God bless you all. The Lord will always honor you. Everybody. God bless you. Bye.